Coach, for 28 minutes, man, you were like a mouse in front of the elephant. You had them going for a little bit there. I mean, just what were you guys able to figure out there? And I noticed, I think by the third quarter, kind of went with a little bit of his own. He wanted to pack it in and force them to shoot. And unfortunately, the foul situation didn't help you there.
I think that's maybe our aggressiveness or instinct played a little bit against us today. You know, we wanted to pack it in, but we're also a very aggressive team that wants to get out, and so I think our nature just would push us out to the ball when we probably could have packed it in a little better. You know, the hardest part I think is you get down to a good team, and it takes a lot of energy to get back in. You know, and maybe a little more legs at the end, and we would have been okay. They were throwing up the Trae Young assist today, and I know they were. Get it up on the board, crash the boards, put it back. You know, 26 free throws they shot. You know, credit to him. You know, Coach Montoya. You know, he had a great year, great group of guys. I think we might have just ran out of a little bit of steam there, and kind of got us at the end. But still, same thing as yesterday. I'm proud of these guys. They're battled.
Because of their height, they can draw a lot of fouls, which presents problems for teams. Like it was obviously a problem for you guys today, but how big of a factor was Mike getting his fourth, and same thing with Nate.
And my thing is, it was a factor. Obviously 26 free throws to 10. Changing kind of the pace of the game gets it a little bit. Where my big one is I get it. Big team, they're gonna bang. I would do the same thing. My thing is when we break the press, a lot of hand checking, a lot of on the hips, and that's just what I was going to battle for. But it's part of the game. It's part of the game, and me myself, I probably didn't do enough to kind of overcome that and get these guys back on track. But again, like we still battled as much as we could, and that's all I can ask for.
Did you guys overachieve this year? Look, you're so young. There's only one senior in this roster, but the argument could be made, well, at 10th seed, you guys weren't supposed to get this far, but it seemed like you guys you deserved to be here. But do you think you overachieved in some way?
I say this all the time. We have a former starter at Cleveland, former player at Hope, former starter at Sandia, and so I don't think we necessarily overachieved. In my head, these guys had it. I think it was just finding new roles, and understanding each other, getting to know each other, and I think that was the big thing. Started out rocky, but I think once these guys learned how to play hard, and then bringing the other guys in that had a JV experience, that's when it gelled. So I'm proud of these guys where they got. I expected it, and there's a lot to say about the bottom of the bracket and how it came out and stuff, but again, I don't feel bad for anybody either. There's been years where we've had to go to Navajo Prep, Indian school more times than I can count. And truly to beat the best, be the best, you got to beat the best. And I think we were the team most positioned to fight with St. Mike's as well as we did.
Nathan, you're kind of in a good situation there at halftime, rolling in foul trouble and everything, and then going to get two right off the bat there in the third, and it kind of changes everything. And defensively, you guys are kind of into a rhythm now, and you guys were really watering a lot of their shots, and they're missing. I just thought about just how that third quarter just kind of changed things slowly.
I think we came out of the half, we flipped the switch. I think we came out in the first half a little timid, but that second half we're like, okay, we're in this, and we got tied up with them there in the third quarter. And I think that's what really, I could see it on their face, like they St. Mike's looked scared, I'd say, they really did. And we were fired up, but stuff doesn't always go our way, so.
Michael, I like the hair, first of all. That was, not everyone did it. Whose idea was to do the hair thing?
I told the young guys, if you need it, I put my hair like this, just to show them that I'm really going to do it, because I believe we'll be here. But everyone would be here when the bracket came out, no matter who we played. guys communicate 32 minutes, even if we need more. So I'm just really happy that we made it.
And I would imagine the off season probably starts 5 minutes from now for you. So, look, you guys have everybody coming back except for Brennan. I would imagine that there's going to be a lot of fire to build upon for next season.
Brandon was the blue guy like the Danny that we had last year, but she's gonna start 3 hours after we get there. First shoot, get ready for next year, start lifting, get bigger, and then start running again, get ready for the pit next year this time as well.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Let's talk about the foul trouble there. I mean, you pick up 3 in the first half. How does that impact what you want to do and how you want to play when you kind of have to be focused on that?
I picked up my third. I was just like, I can't foul anymore. I can't play as hard on defense as Kamal. That's how I guarded. And he really had easy ones because I didn't want to go and pick up my fourth and fifth. So then I just kind of had to lay off and let him attack the rim and just give him an 8. But even on offense, it impacts me because now I'm trying to go to the hole. But now people are saying charges or they're in the lane and I can't pick up a foul. I can't go to my little step back that I got. So I'm kind of like just like at the point where what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to drive? Am I supposed to shoot? And I hit 2 threes, I believe, struggle from 3. So it's kind of just having to pass the ball. I think I had 6 assists, but then my turnovers were a little high too as well. So I gotta get better at that, controlling the game, having fouls, whatever, just controlling it.
And Nate, that's kind of the same thing with you too. Like, they're so big, they can create a lot of, they can draw those fouls. They probably called you for 1 or 2 that were a little questionable, but how did that change your approach?
I think how I see it is it's better for them to score 2 points than pick up a foul for me. You know what I mean? Like my team needs me out there, and I know they need me out there, and so it gets hard when they're driving to the basket and I'm the only one that's in the way. So they're a big team too, so it's hard to stay jumping with them. They jump out of the roof too, and it definitely gets tiring after a while trying to jump with those guys. But I love it. It's fun.
Michael, before the season started, I mean, I knew what you believed of yourself, and then you put it all up here. You lit up the stat sheets and stuff like that. What can people be expecting from Robertson for the next season?
State championship, hopefully. No, for sure. I believe in myself from day one. No one believed in me. I averaged like 5 points last year. So I just believed Jesse, and then George was leaving. So I talked to George a little bit about how he was scoring, how efficient he was. So me and him worked out together. And I can't wait to just play next year. Be back here, in March, and then hopefully get it done next year. And I really believe in myself. I believe in the whole team. I trust in Adam coming back here. I trust in Nathan. I'm excited this year just to be a part of something great and intensely competing with the low seeds. So really happy.
It's been fun to see you guys with George. Man, that team with George would have been tough. Tough.
I know St. Mike's, I don't think necessarily expected to see you guys at the state championship in the beginning of the year. Once you saw the bracket, maybe that changed a little bit. But, for them, I mean, I think they take some satisfaction in beating you guys because of what happened last year. What's that rivalry like? I mean, 4 times in the last 5 years you guys have played in this pit. You guys want to see them again next year in the pit?
I mean, we're a good team, of course, but we're basketball players. We're going to show that. We're going to put it together. We're going to play more hard. We're more dudes. We're more caring about this team. And we'll see it next year. Hopefully we'll see 2 more years, one about 8 at least 3 years. Got 4 more years in my career.
And that's the thing I told Nick Miller. That's what you want, right? You want the memories. You want the battle. I told him. I said, you know what? I said, I know and you know that wouldn't be the same if we both weren't here. And I think that drives both of us. I have friends from St. Mike's that I still talk to. 25 years later, and end of the day, we're all still a basketball community, and you want to go up and play those games. You want to battle it out. You want to lose it out there a little bit. You want to go crazy. You want to, those are the memories, and that's what I'm happy for these guys is, they made some memories today, and we'll get back to work and we'll get back to battling, and I'm sure this isn't the end of our story. So.
What about for you? I know it seems like last year we were kind of in the situation we weren't sure what your future was going to be like.
Yeah.
What's that like this year for you? Is it a little more stable, not necessarily?
Yeah, you know what? I again, just a day at a time.
Yeah.
Lots of changes for me. Lots of things going on. But I just know that there's a culture that's been built here, you know, and I think that's where it's important to, you know, share knowledge and to work with each other and do whatever you can do. But, you know, again, take it one day at a time. I called into work Friday, and I told my boss, I said, hey, I ain't gonna be there, you know, you know, I just kind of put that out of my mind. I'll get back to work on Monday and see what happens, and you know, go from there. But that being said, I'm proud of you guys. So.
You didn't control at work, did you?
No, I have a ton of meetings, so it's
I
cool.
was gonna say, no, Adam, we really need you to come in today.
Yeah.
What the last 2 years been like with